Leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. Now that's a quote from Warren Bennis, but it accurately describes our mayor, Mitch Landrieu. When he was elected in 2010 and re-elected earlier this year, he had a vision for the city of New Orleans. Under his leadership, the city has become one of the fastest growing in the nation. It is one of the best for school reform, and it has experienced record economic growth. He said, and I quote, "This great city calls for change." We at Delgado have certainly benefited greatly from his willingness to answer that call, and we appreciate his support of the college. Consequently, it is with great pleasure that I present our mayor, the Honorable Mitch Landrieu.
Y'all welcome our new chancellor. Thank you so much, Chancellor. Thank all of you for being here. The protocol has been established to all of my fellow elected officials. It's great to see all of you. King Boissier, thank you so much. Queen Elaine. It's always going to be your name now. It's great to see you. First of all, today is a sacred day in the city of New Orleans. We lost 1,800 fellow citizens on this day, and so I would ask you to keep them in your prayers. They were our history, and they were our future, in the sense that once they were taken from us, we lost that they would have given us, but for the fact that the levees broke. I was just joined by the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, who has just been recently appointed by President Obama, and again, this is one of his first trips that he has made to re-emphasize the President's commitment to the city of New Orleans, and of course, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, along with a lot of other agencies, have had a lot to do with our ability to recover. And we were at the tomb of 85 other New Orleanians who were unnamed and unclaimed. But today what I said was they're not unclaimed, because we claim them, because we don't leave anybody behind in this city. That's who we are as a people. And that is something that we have to aspire to and continue to call each other to purpose on as we rebuild the city of New Orleans, because we just can't rebuild a part. We've got to rebuild the whole, because the whole is what is important to all of us. And that brings us to this wonderful occasion today. When I had the great pleasure of serving as your lieutenant governor, by virtue of being in that position, I sit on the bond commission. And I can recall very vividly, Senator Murray, I don't know if you were on the bond commission on that day, but the last vote that we took in Governor Foster's administration a couple of days before Governor Jindal was sworn in was to create the authorization so that the community and technical colleges had the money that they needed to build facilities all across the state of Louisiana. And I can tell you that our senators and our state representatives at the time battled viciously to make sure that the city of New Orleans never got left out of that authorization and expenditure of funds. Because in the Shreveport-Bossier-Minden area, in Baton Rouge, there were major investments made in those technical schools so that we could connect Louisiana citizens to work, and Delgado was not yet on that list, Monty. And Walter Bumpus, who had just turned it over to Joe May, who now turned it over to you, all three of you, and all of the senators that were there before, Senator Badgerois, Senator Boissier, you were there. We would not be here today had they not done what they wanted to do and were supposed to do in making sure that, number one, the state legislature understood the need to invest in community and technical schools, and two, that the money actually got here. Now, subsequent to that, as Monty said, there were calls when this building went down to not put it back here. There were some suggestions to put it on Southern's campus and connect it to UNO and Southern. But the legislators, Wesley Bishop, Charmaine, lots of other folks said, no, you know what? We have a commitment to Florida, Desire, to Upper Nine, to make sure that that community has what it needs to come back. And so this today is a recognition of what it looks like when people say you got to rebuild a community. On top of that, thank you very much. On top of that, as Senator Morrell talked about Carver and the need to reinvest in that piece, that's a $50 million reinvestment. This one's about 40 plus some change and a little bit more to come. a $90 million investment, but not just in a building. This is much, much more than a building. This is a thing. It is the way that's really important, because as I left the secretary downtown, next to those 2 hospitals that are being built, those are opportunities where people will be able to work. I left the deputy mayor for infrastructure and the new executive director of the Sewage and Water Board, who is in the process of rebuilding that infrastructure, opportunities for work. I was with the executive director of the airport authority. We're rebuilding a new airport, opportunities to work. But what we have been missing is the connector, where we make sure that the young men and women in this city have a pathway to a good paying job so that they themselves can rebuild the city and also rebuild the future of the city. And Delgado, through the work that they do on their main campus and in Sidney Collier, is going to be the connector so that the young men and women that are at Carver are going to be able to walk right down that pathway and walk right into this building and go right into a classroom that approximates what job they're going to have at one particular place. That is the pathway to prosperity. And more importantly than just the building, the way of connection between the school system and the community and technical colleges and the businesses is the thing that's going to create the foundation so that the city of New Orleans can become what? Not what she was, but what she always wanted to be. So today, this building is the symbol not only of other people that have helped that we can thank, not only a commitment to community and technical colleges, not only a commitment to making sure that we're connected to primary and secondary education, but this building is proof positive that the new way in New Orleans, when we come together, when we all join hands, when we lay down a foundation, that we are creating something very strong that we can stand on so we can build wealth for future generations, and the city of New Orleans will be that beautiful thing that we always knew she could be. So God bless all of you for your work, Monty. As we said, this is just the beginning. We have a lot more to do. We've got a long way to go, but if we go together, much better chance that we're going to get there than if we try to do it apart. God bless you all, and thank you so much.